Hi, I'm Daniela. I'm the CTO and Co-Founder at Momento.
I'm Zachary. I am the Vice President of Media Architecture at Disney.
Thanks for being at Buffe-Free Lounge with me today, Zach.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You have a very interesting talk on content delivery fluidity.
Yeah.
Can you help sort of the audience understand, define what that means to you?
Right. As we continue to have more applications and things that we support with the media platform at Disney, we definitely have this need to bring content across applications. And that is where this concept of content fluidity comes from. If you're getting content from us, we want to make sure that you can get the content everywhere. Any app as best you can, and then respect the rights and requirements of that content in those apps. And so fluidity is how we're working through the enablement of that, but at a low total cost.
Interesting. So you started talking about this, but so what motivates this idea of content fluidity?
Yeah, the more content that we have, the better. It's always better for everybody to have more things, but we do need to make sure that we can manage the overall cost to bring that content to service, keep it well curated, and make sure it brings the best experience and quality to the users. We don't want the different apps competing for the same resources.
Got you. So as a user, as an end user, an end consumer, what benefits would I get from this kind of work?
As an end consumer, hopefully you're not seeing this work at all, which is the best part. It's just there, it's working for you. But the benefits you're getting out of it is you're getting better stream quality, better ability for delivery to happen to you, so that you are experiencing the quality in the best light and the best place. And because the fluidity is enabling, Hulu on Disney Plus as an experience, you don't have to switch apps. You get all the content you want in the app that you're at. And that's I think one of the best gains from it.
That's awesome. So let's talk about the presentation at Buffe-Free conference today. What's something that, did you get any interesting questions? What's an interesting topic that came up from the content?
One of the most interesting questions is how we continue to break apart these logical concepts of what we call entities. Are breaking them too small, like too fine grained? The concept of, is it an episode or should we have different subtypes of episodes? That was a great question. And in reality, there's no right answer. That's the fun/hard part about this type of engineering. There's no good solution, but you need to meet the product asks and the business asks. So really we're breaking at the levels that the experiences need. And that might change. We might have new cases and new uses. I think somebody else asked later about short form video. And the answer is, we're really trying to figure out how to conceptualize that. We don't have it yet. But it's interesting. It's always evolving, but it allows us to really think about these things very discreetly without having to think of the whole thing again. Yeah,
it's sort of imagine a tricky balance between sort of building generally and generically, but then trying to predict the array of content that you have to support.
As I said in the talk, the plan is the plan until the plan changes. And you have to be adaptable to that.
Yeah. But then let's talk about some of the design principles then at the architectural level. What are some of the principles that you're following?
Well, we do want to try and keep it as simple as we can. Try not to conflate experiences, try to keep things simple but separate, right? So we can work in isolation without complicating the operational flows and spaces that exist. The other one is, as part of the plan changing, try and make sure that where you land, if it's a midpoint, you're stable, right? You might not be able to get all the way there with all the implementation and deliveries you're trying to do. If you can at least be at a stable midpoint, you can continue to work from there.
What do you mean by a stable midpoint?
Suppose you want to do a large re-architecture of a system, but you can only get 50% of that work done. You got to make sure that 50% is sustainable. And that's very hard to hit those points without going too overboard.
Yeah. So it's sort of reaching kind of a equilibrium that you can sustain over time. That makes sense.
So that's not just scale though, too. It's also operational teams. It's not good enough for an operational team to do double amount of work in that 50% state. You still want to consider all your consumers.
Yeah. And then let's talk about some of the challenges then. in your experience thus far, sort of in the past and looking into the future, what are some of the biggest challenges?
The challenges have changed and changed over time. Our biggest challenges in the most recent memory has been bringing more of these applications together under the common content catalog. And we're still working through the last bits of that, but we're starting to see a lot of the payoff with these enablements. ESPN Plus on Disney Plus as the most recent example. Looking forward, we think the next level of challenge is to really reimagine and fix these data that we have, because as we've onboarded, we've segmented some areas of the data sets. We want to bring it more into a cohesive graph and figure out how to really maintain that and also expand it.
Yeah. So what's your trick? I mean, it sounds like working with all kinds of different parties, stakeholders, trying to bring everyone together. So what are some of the tips there? Like how do you manage to get so many parties aligned on a common initiative?
It's a lot of listening and a lot of trying to understand what everyone's needs are and how the priorities interrelate. Oftentimes, the way things work is the way they are just because of how they are, not that that's how anybody really wants it to work. And so it's really conversation. That's I would say 90% of my job at this point, getting people in the room talking and figuring out the best compromise if there has to be one, but the best path forward for all of us.
Yeah, for sure. And it sounds like what you're saying is that there is pay, like you can see the payoffs as the work progresses. So that's super rewarding as well.
Yeah, it is.
Well, thank you very much, Zach. I learned a lot in this conversation. I'm sure there's a lot more to be learned in your actual presentation. So I recommend that everybody take a look at the recording for sure. And I know you're also really active in the local community, Seattle Data Tech Meetup. So looking forward to your next talk.
Yeah, I'm always available to reach out and answer questions.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.